Maple Ridge is the kind of town that looks exactly like a postcard. It's a place of front porches and quiet routines, where neighbors assume they know everyone else's story. But inside the Carter home, an invisible barrier has been growing for years, fueled by a deep emotional misunderstanding. Every morning, Michael Carter climbs into a 20-year-old truck with a rattling engine and duct-tape seats. He is a man of few words, hardened by decades of manual labor. To him, providing means staying focused and working 10-hour shifts, a pragmatic survival that he expects his son to mirror without question. His son, Ethan, is months away from graduation and desperate for a different kind of support. He's surrounded by college brochures and peers with brand new cars. To Ethan, his father's constant lectures about staying focused and saving money don't sound like guidance. They sound like a refusal to care about his dreams. The gap between them is a classic conflict of languages. One is speaking in the vocabulary of physical survival and hard-earned stability. The other is looking for vocal encouragement and a sign that his future matters more than the monthly bills. The tension reaches a peak when Ethan is accepted into a top engineering program. It's the future he's worked for, but it's a future that requires a car he doesn't have. Without a way to commute to his new job or the campus, his excitement is quickly replaced by the logistical reality of being stuck. That evening, Ethan asks his father for financial help to buy a used car, explaining how much he's already saved on his own. Michael, exhausted from work and staring at a notebook full of numbers, gives the same answer he always does: not right now. Ethan doesn't see the notebook. He only hears the rejection. He accuses his father of never celebrating his wins and refusing to invest a single cent into his future. The argument ends with a slammed door, leaving years of unspoken resentment out in the open. By midnight, Ethan has a plan. He decides to leave before sunrise, figuring he's better off on his own. On his way out, he sees his father's worn leather wallet on the kitchen counter. He grabs it, thinking of it as a loan to fund his escape, and disappears into the night. In this moment, Ethan is measuring his father's love by what he is willing to buy, while Michael is measuring that same love by everything he is willing to go without. An hour later, Ethan sits on a park bench under a single street lamp. He opens the wallet, expecting to find the cash he needs. Instead, he finds $23 and a handful of coins, the entire weekly allowance of a man who worked 50 hours in the sun. He finds a bank statement where fixed expenses like the mortgage are circled in blue ink. Next, a recurring payment for his mother's surgery appears, pushing the balance near zero. Finally, educational expenses stack on top for Ethan's prep books, leaving a mathematical deficit. This is the hidden reality of many households. Parents often act as a buffer, absorbing the shock of financial stress so their children can focus on their own growth, unaware of the thin margin their family is living on. Deep inside a hidden pocket, Ethan finds a thick envelope labeled "For Ethan's Future." He opens it to find a letter that his father clearly never intended for him to see this soon. In the letter, Michael writes that becoming a parent means you stop measuring life by what you want to own and start measuring it by what your children need to succeed. He explains that his old truck and worn boots never mattered as much as ensuring Ethan didn't lose his future because of his father's circumstances. This line graph represents the saving statement Ethan finds next. It's the result of years of $10 and $20 deposits. While Ethan complained, his father was building a college fund out of the spare change of a working-class life. The final paper is an email from a dealership. Michael wasn't ignoring Ethan's need for a car. He was planning to trade in his own blue F-150, the truck that held 20 years of his memories, to pay for it. Ethan looks at the time, 8:47 a.m. The appointment is for 10 a.m. His father is about to give up the one thing he loves because Ethan couldn't see past his own frustration. The frustration that drove Ethan out of the house disappears as the math of his father's life finally becomes visible. He isn't running away anymore. He's racing to stop a sacrifice he now knows his father shouldn't have to make. Ethan reaches the dealership just as Michael is handing the keys to a salesman. The old blue truck looks smaller here, surrounded by rows of shiny new vehicles, but it's the only thing Ethan is looking at. He intercepts the sale, returning the wallet and tearfully explaining that he finally understands. He tells his father he doesn't need a new car. not if it costs the truck that built their family's life. Ethan finally sees the truck for what it is, a physical archive of his father's dedication. Every dent and scratch represents a mile driven to provide for them, and every rattle is a reminder of the years Michael spent putting his son's needs ahead of his own comfort. Michael watches his son, realizing the lesson of sacrifice has finally been learned. He takes the keys back, folds the paperwork, and decides to keep the truck, knowing that the connection they just found is more valuable than any trade-in value. The greatest success a parent can achieve isn't the praise for what they gave up, but the moment their child realizes they were always valued above every material possession. 5 years later, Ethan has graduated as a mechanical engineer. He has the career his father protected, built on the foundation of those small $10 deposits and the miles driven in that old blue pickup. With his first major paycheck, Ethan returns to that same dealership. He buys a new, reliable truck, not for himself, but for his father, hoping to finally return a fraction of the support he received. Michael accepts the gift, but he refuses to let go of the original F-150. It remains in the driveway, a rusted monument to the years they made it through together, and the bond that was saved in a dealership parking lot. We often don't notice the quiet ways parents work and worry until we are standing in their shoes. If you are fortunate enough to have someone sacrificing for your future, don't wait for a crisis to recognize the weight they are carrying. The most significant things a person leaves behind aren't the assets they accumulated, but the opportunities they quietly gave up to ensure someone else could get ahead. For Ethan, that realization didn't come from a graduation ceremony, but from the contents of an old, worn-out wallet.